Peace. Smash that like button, subscribe, and share, please. All right, let's just get into the FBA conference. I didn't get a chance to talk about it for a while, but before we get into that, I mean, it kind of ties in. I mean, just watch Tariq getting washed and yet another debate. This time with the chica from New York named Genesika. Well, let's just call her Jenny from the block. I mean, basically they were arguing because this Genesia misspoke. And she did this share on her Instagram about black Americans. First of all, non-black Americans shouldn't start off any type of post or dialogue saying, I just want to speak to you, give you guys advice. Don't do that. I hate when black people do that. Stephen A. Smith tries that stuff, and I hate when he does it. Shut up. We don't need somehow she's basically saying that we are reacting wrong to our suffering. Let black Americans react the way they want to react. And in a way, I can't even say anything because there's this little civil war between black Americans and anyone who's not black American. All right? But what I don't get with these black Americans is that all of a sudden you're repping Old Glory. All of a sudden you're American. And Tariq was getting on this, we're black Americans. We're different than you. But just a second ago, Tariq Nasheed was ripping Raven Simone because she chose to be an American and she didn't want to add African American to her classification. And Tariq was like, why didn't you want to be African? Now all of a sudden you're American. So the Jenny chick called out the hustle. All right. We know that this is that once the ADOS, FBA, or the whole reparations thing dies down, you're going to move on to something else because you're really not about reparations. You decided to break up ADOS and you saw that there was a money grab in it, and that's all this is. But let's really get into this FBA nonsense because, first of all, I just got to say this. Anybody who reps FBA at this point, or anyone who went to this so-called conference is a fool. All right? Because ask yourself, what is FBA? All right? Now, it would be nice to define FBA, but you can't even it doesn't even have a website. It doesn't have any PowerPoints. See, I'm not FBA or ADOS, but at least ADOS, there's a website you can go to. There's PowerPoints. There's a little strategy. With FBA, you know what you have? You have a place where you can buy T-shirts. You have a GoFundMe page, or you had a GoFundMe page. I'll get into that in just a second. But what does foundational black American actually mean? All right? Shout out to a YouTuber by the name of Angel's Nut. Angel's Nut, you type it in, ANGELSNUP. Listen, this is a former NOI member. Has a little axe to grind with Farrakhan and the Nation. I get it. But he's very critical on a lot of these things regarding a lot of these pro-black thought leaders, if you want to call them that. But he asked a very pertinent question. He said, FBA, Foundational Black American, what did you find? Think about that. What did you find as an American black? You were slaves. Saying that's like saying Michael Irvin and Emmett Smith and Nate Newton founded the Cowboys. That's like saying Kobe Bryant and Shaq and Magic and Kareem, they founded the Lakers. All right, Jordan and Pippen founded the Bulls. No, you were nothing but turbo engines they used to help build their brand. That's what you were. You were slaves. When were you in the room with the colonizer sitting down to set up this country so you could rule? They used you as slaves just like they did with every other black person around this earth. This is how they survived. They enslaved people. So what did you find exactly? So you had the conference. Of course, the followers or the attendees came there. And I'm waiting for all the goofy comments at the end of this video. I don't care. Like, use an immigrant. You shouldn't be talking about FBA shit. Shut the fuck up. Because y'all talk about foreign shit all the time and slander people. So I can say what I want. But don't worry. Don't worry. I won't do like Tariq. All right. I won't say like he does. Like, say how black Caribbeans brought gang culture to the country. All right. I won't say how foreign blacks like he does and say foreign blacks brought HIV. I won't say like he does that we're the reason for Freaknik and why people are, women are shaking their asses naked in the streets, sounding like a goddamn, racist, conservative Republican and shit. I won't tell you to go back to your country and clean it up and, you need to fix your own country instead of coming here while clinging on to the boots of the same group of colonizers that colonize all indigenous people. I mean, are you all really that stupid enough to think that using this tactic is going to bring you closer to reparations? Is that what you really think, stupid? I can't wait till this is all over. No, there is no group. You cannot find one group of foreign blacks or Caribbeans or any non-American blacks that have said you should not get reparations. But I can name a gang of FBA/ADOS, whatever people that will fight you to the T to stop getting reparations. You name one foreign black that has that stance. I'll name 20 American blacks who will fight against reparations even getting off the ground. So you had the panelists on there, and the panelists were all on different pages. You had one person saying they're Native American, another person saying, we need Africans as well. You had another person saying, you had Tariq, of course, bashing foreign black people, like he's never visited or he's never exploited other countries like Europe or the Caribbean or whatever. So it was all over the place. What's funny is that this dude was repping ADOS for a year plus. Now he switches it up. Like I said, this is nothing more than a hustle for him. And by the way, ADOS, the ADOS people, that's Yvette and Tony, you don't get away with this. You knew Tariq was spouting all of this xenophobic crap, but you let him go with it anyways. So you don't get away with any of this. See, what people don't understand, Tariq is cool with Boyce, who was once close with Yvette, who's cool with Tone, who was cool with Tariq, and so this is 3 degrees of separation here. So nobody gets away with it. All of these people, they're all mixed in the same bag as far as I'm concerned. Then there's Michi X, and let me just say this. A lot of people owe Michi X an apology. Michi X called out Tariq for the bullshit from day one. From day one, she was the first person to jump on what he was doing. And everybody was attacking her, saying that, she's wrong, and look at how ghetto she is, and she's this, and she's that, and men were attacking her. I mean, you know who you are. Well, here's my question to you. You can attack her for being a light bright, for being a hood, for cursing. You've attacked her kids, you've attacked her weight. You can attack all of that. Here's my question, though. Where was she wrong? Nobody brings that up. Where was she wrong on this? Where was she wrong in saying that Tariq finds a lane that he's comfortable with and he goes and takes that lane? Where was she wrong where she said he pirated the ADOS movement and he used it to make money? And we'll get more into this later on in the conversation, but a lot of you men, you come off like straight bitches for real. I mean, she did a review of this little conference, and you had men, grown men. This is like Tariq's babies and shit, calling her names. You sound like clowns, fools. I remember I first encountered Michi, not personally, of course, but I first heard her when the Cosby verdict came out. And she had a post that went viral about how Cosby's getting framed, this and that. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm anti-Cosby. Fuck Cosby. I don't care if he's in. I can give a shit about what happened to him. He's in prison because he thought he was white. But she got on. She was like, Cosby's this and Cosby that. Whatever. Listen, she had a catchphrase. Miss me with that. She can miss me with that one. And I didn't like the fact her association with Tommy Sotomayor. Those things I don't like. But you know what? I listen to her, and even though I don't agree with everything she says, most of the time, she's on point. She's on point. And by the way, nobody's hating on nobody's hating on ADOS or FBA. All right? You want me to sit down and just watch all the xenophobic shit come at us. My family's Jamaican, by the way. You want the xenophobic shit to come at us, and you want no pushback? It's funny, you're quick to go after black foreigners. I don't see any vitriol towards the white man directly. I don't. But let's just get into this conference. It's supposed to be an FBA conference. What is a conference? Let's define that. A conference it's not a convention. Because see, this is where the finesse comes in. Tariq says, yo, we're gonna have a conference and we're gonna have it popping and we're gonna do this and that. But see, you have in your mind that this is gonna be like the Democratic National Convention with crystal, and you're gonna have wine glasses, and they're gonna serve a big full course meal when it's all over, and champagne and all this other shit. This is what you had in mind, and that was the hustle for this. And you felt that the $200,000 that he was supposed to collect, he needed that money. But see, you left out a couple of factors. First of all, if you're gonna have a conference, or if you have a convention, right? The convention usually pays for the food. It pays for the travel. It pays for the room and board. It pays for a number of things as opposed to just sitting inside a room in a little conference. It pays the conference embodies many things. So the $200,000. If for some reason you can't have the conference, you're supposed to get your money back. And Tariq was saying, hey, we're going to raise $200,000 for this. And if I don't raise $200,000, you'll get your money back. Right? But guess what? He didn't even raise 60% of the funds that he needed. It was about $118,000, $120,000 at the end of the day. Supposed to get your money back, right? No. He placed something on there that said, he placed on the flyer, on the advertisement, I'll get into that in a second, you don't get any refunds. So basically he collected $120,000. He didn't reach the goal that he said he'd give a refund for, only to say, we're not refunding the money. And to his credit, some of y'all are such fools, you're like, I don't care if I give money to him, then that's fine. See, Tariq is not doing anything illegal here. This is the thing. He's not doing anything illegal. It's not illegal to sell pet rocks to dummies. So nobody's saying he's doing anything illegal. It's about the ethics of the whole thing. So then COVID hits. And the promotion wasn't even authentic. I mean, you saw how it was advertised. You had Tariq's not even in the advertisements. See, if you're really that care about being a black American, you put your face in the ad. You'd wrap yourself around the American flag. Yvette, to her credit, she's done that because she really believes that she's for America. But Tariq, he saw an opportunity. You notice he's not even in the ads for that. He doesn't care about that. He just sees a money-making situation. So he pushed to have this thing, and he kept $120,000 because he had to get the money. Then, obviously there was a pretty big crowd. And keep in mind, a conference, when you're talking about $200,000, all right, that's not even enough for a convention. Maybe like half a day for a really good convention, maybe a day, but this wasn't a convention. This was a conference. A conference is something much smaller. But we'll get into a conference because it wasn't even a conference. But a conference doesn't cost $200,000. A conference Unlike a convention, it's usually $5,000 to $8,000, maybe $10,000. Michi said this in her original video attacking Tariq. Like I said, you should put up something to pay her an apology, but you don't have it within you. She was right. But he decided he had to do this. Give Ados credit. Ados also had a conference they had to do. And you attacked Ados for being broke and for being their loser than this and that. But for some reason, they can afford not to have a conference. Why was it so important for Tariq to push this conference? Ask yourself that. You see, he knows you won't bother to check these things. And if you dare inquire or ask an intelligent question, he's just going to accuse you of pocket watching. So as you saw the flyer was BS because the flyer said that this started at 3 p.m. This is when it was supposed to start. That means that at 3 p.m., which is not even half a day for a conference, huh? But it's not even half a day. It was supposed to start at 3 p.m. So if it starts at 3 p.m., on the flyer it should say, make sure you're there by 12 noon so we can start on time. He didn't do that. So at 3 p.m., people got there. People were standing outside in line. And everybody said that this thing didn't start until 5:36. 5:36. So if you got there at 3, you waited till 6, and you had people, there wasn't even food there. We saw a picture of somebody with an ice cooler there. You have the nerve to call Michi stuff a ghetto conference? You had ice coolers at you. We have people bringing ice coolers at this so-called conference. And at 3 hours, it's not even a conference anymore. It's like a church service. Because after this was done, you were on your Instagram at 9:01. Because anytime you have an event at a hotel, you're supposed to be out of there by the time the buffet closed. Well, there was no buffet, there was no food. So you got to be out there before the buffet closes, which is usually by 10. So at 9 o'clock, this guy was standing in the back, so you barely had 3 hours. So we're talking $200,000 for 3 hours. That's about $50,000 plus per hour. Come on, bruh. It wasn't $200,000. It was what, 120, 100, or whatever. So you paid $40,000 an hour for this? You see, this is a conference. Minus the COVID shit. I mean, obviously people will be more spread out, but lighting, TV, slides, all right, cameras, all that shit, and it would be a lot more professional as opposed to this. I mean, was that logo photoshopped on somebody's phone and they emailed it, or did Kinko's have a special or something? I mean, come on, bro. And you can do what you want, but $50,000 an hour for this? But here's another thing. This conference was in the most expensive part of Georgia. Atlanta is supposed to be Chocolate City, right? You couldn't find a black parlor hall or a black church or something to give money during the time of COVID? You could have easily gotten out of this and said, listen, this place right here, this is a COVID center. I want my money back. And you could have given it to a black business. Remember Powernomics, right? Claude Anderson, right? Bullshit. Absolute and complete bullshit. And I don't want to hear about the pocket watching either. He's culture watching. How about that? You talking about pocket watching. We're pocket watching because he's the same one. When asked about the conference, he said, I live in a $2 million house. Nigga, I drive a hot car. I do this. Nigga, I don't need the money. You did need this. To push this during a COVID time, you needed the money. So to all the Tariq followers and dick holders, here's pretty much a breakdown of what you did. You basically paid to get in, or you paid what? You donated money. Then you paid at the door. Then I saw some of you fools paying to take pictures with dude. Then he's going to put this on DVD and you're going to pay for it afterwards. Again, Not knocking. He's doing nothing illegal. You're just fools. You're just fools. It's funny, he brags about living in a $2 million mansion, tons of papers and news sources. Puts out all these articles about, oh, California's finished for black people. California, you know, forget it. Black people can't live there. But a Z-rated celebrity, a Z-rated hood celebrity, he can afford it, but everybody else can't. Come on, bro. Well, Tariq, look at what Tariq releases people from jail. Trump released people from jail. What is he? Is he an official black person now? All this guy did was attack foreign countries, and meanwhile, this dude got the Haiti Project. He's doing Hidden Colors. Soon as the Hidden Colors hits, yo, I gotta go to England. Let me go to the Caribbean to sell. Let me go all these places, bro. This is nothing. This right here. And what's funny, just back to that debate he had with the Latina, right? She brought up Stacey Dash, who's cool now, but she's part Mexican. So he's trying to disassociate himself from her. His boy is Damon Dash. He called Stacey Dash an American, so she tried to distance herself from her, but doesn't that make Damon Dash, he's also foreign black, so what are we saying? And for you dudes, for anybody who jumped from ADOS to FBA, see, dudes like you can't be counted on if there's any real revolution. See, this is all fun and games for you. This isn't about sacrifice. This is about who makes you laugh more, who entertains you more, huh? Who's more charismatic, not for someone who's really in this for the long run. And that was what's so funny about this whole debate. You're basically proving this chica right in that we're scared to death, or that you're scared to death because remember, I'm a foreign black, right? This shit is so stupid, but he was able to pull this whole thing off, and you all follow it and clap like seals, and you don't even realize how ridiculous you sound. This chica was asking, why are you marching? Why are you still marching if this is your country? She was making valid points. You want this guy to speak for you for reparations. Is that it? Seriously. This guy is the guy you're going to push out there to speak for reparations? This is laughable, bro. This is laughable. And again, she should not have put that post up. But if she puts that post off, some black woman should go up there and you should be the one to speak, somebody with some intelligence. All right, and I understand, Tariq, and then Baldy jumps in, and the bald eagle, and they all jump in. They just threw flies in the ointment. But I don't need Tariq to speak about anything except how to break up legitimate movements and how to become agents of chaos and how to grift and try to make money off of serious movements. That's all I need him to speak on. Who was the press that went there? Sonetta? Sonetta was the one who covered this. No mainstream press. Nobody. No main politician. Nobody. So the bottom line, this right here, hey, it was just a money grab. And listen, it's funny how you want to follow a guy in Tariq. He told you that he doesn't want to be a leader. He told you in many times he doesn't want smoke from the establishment. He doesn't want to go to jail. I'm sorry, folks. That's part of it, especially if you're trying to get reparations. How many times do you need to see his head get handed to him in a debate? This man doesn't want sacrifice. Regardless of what you think about Grandmaster Jay, that image he portrays is powerful. I don't care what he's wearing, what he's carrying. I don't give a shit. The image is powerful. Tariq, nah, you gonna get us in trouble. You gonna go to jail. So this guy doesn't want any smoke. This is the guy you want to lead you. Say what you want about Yvette and Tone. Yeah, Yvette looks like she's giving these these presentations up an appearance addict. She may be there until she dies. Tone looks like he's in a dusty apartment. He may be there till he dies. That's part of it. Sacrifice. But I will throw this at you in closing. Because Tariq blame gang culture on black foreigners, on Caribbeans, huh? On Africans. He blamed all degenerate culture that you see in black America today on foreigners. Like, foreigners are the ones who created trap music. Nah, that were black Southerners. But he wants to separate everybody. My question is this. If you ever get before Congress, there's going to be violence. Why should any foreign black get behind you and help you after you slandered us the way you did? Yeah, there's going to be an Afro-coon and a Caribbean and some coons from Canada. I know about all of them. My family's from Jamaica. You don't think I see the coonery and the self-hate down there? You have them down there, then you got Kanye West and Terry Crews up there. What, you want to have a coon contest? This is how silly this is. So at the end of the day, you need to find real allies out here. I'm done. Like, share, subscribe, or dislike, whatever. Peace out, and big up on yourself.